Hello, sports fan. This is Stephen Hill of Sports Choice Plus. I'm bringing you a very special breakdown. I'm going to be covering the impact of the dominant defensive line in the NFL. Before I get right into that, I want to make sure that you're subscribed to the YouTube channel so you can get all the updates and all the breakdowns. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Looking at the Super Bowl, you saw just how bad an offensive line can be when you have the defensive pressure of a group that's playing on all cylinders, that's fired up at one time. When you look at the Philadelphia Eagles and you saw how Sweat was getting pressure, how Jordan Davis was getting pressure, how Carter was getting pressure, they were coming in groves, they were getting to Patrick Mahomes, they were shadow getting to him as well. When you essentially swipe at him or you almost get the ball and he just has to force the ball out of there, or it creates turnovers, or it speeds up the clock in his head to where he has to get rid of the ball, you saw how that pressure works. With some of the monsters like Myles Garrett, with some of the monsters like Danielle Hunter, Micah Parsons, TJ Watt, the defensive monsters in the NFL are getting better, they're getting smarter, and they're only scheming better to attack offenses. When you think of the rules do cater to the offensive players, but there's a skill in the way that they're getting to the quarterback. There's a skill in how they're getting these sacks and these tackles, these interceptions and fumbles. And you can just only admire and see how these defensive players are shaping a new brand of football. When you think about the old school mentality of a defensive lineman or a defensive playmaker, it was just one way. Just be physical. There's now a finesse game. When you're looking at guys that are playing smart with their feet, it doesn't have to be anything power related. They're able to get to the quarterback. They're able to pass rush. They're able to stop the running back as they're going toward the quarterback. It's a number of things that they're doing, and you're starting to see the focus shift to guys that are multifaceted. When you think about a linebacker that may be 5'10", 6 foot, and is compact, that has the speed, that has the power, that has the punch when they hit, that has the ability to see the field as a quarterback essentially from the linebacker position and move side to side and follow the tight ends, follow the running backs, and also get to the quarterback. There's so much more that's being developed, and the skill set, the frames of the people are just changing. It's not just Myles Garrett being jacked up at 6'4", 6'5", and being able to rush the quarterback. It's the smaller linebackers as well. So I think that overall the NFL is seeing a change where the defensive playmaker doesn't necessarily fit a mold or a body type. When you're available to not only elevate your team because of your defensive play, just look at the cornerback play in the Super Bowl. Just think of Cooper DeJean, how he played. Just think about how some of the NFL in the playoffs, the defensive players, some of these guys helped their team advance to the next round. Think about just the overall pace of things, just being able to stay on the field and match up against some of these quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson, against a Josh Allen, against a Patrick Mahomes, against a Jalen Hurts, and get the job done. To read and react in a positive way to where you're covering ground and you're stopping a completion from happening, you're stopping a touchdown from happening, you're stopping some bomb from happening into the secondary. These guys are smarter than ever. And I think that they're starting to catch up with the offense, and you're going to have to start looking at them a little differently. With the likes of Travis Hunter coming in, with the likes of some of these young guys like Sauce Gardner, Patrick Surtain at the corner position, Quinnen Williams at the defensive tackle position, Trayvon Walker with the Jaguars, Jonathan Cooper with Denver, Dante Fowler with the Cowboys, Will Anderson Jr. with the Texans. It's a lot of guys that are just athletically gifted, but more smarter up here. And I think that as the tide changes, the defense is going to have the calling card, and they're going to start the season off faster, I believe. That's why I think that, a lot of times when the offense struggles the first couple of weeks, that's because it's easier to play defense than it is to play offense, because you're reading and reacting. The continuity of the offense has to have too many different things to happen, where the line has to block for the quarterback. The wide receivers has to have the line stay intact so he can get the ball to him. The running back has to have the line blocked for him. It's just a number of things that work against them, and now all of a sudden these defenders, they're getting smarter. They're getting easier to teach. And I think that's scary for some offenses. So I think the defensive players and playmakers are only expanding. I think their minds are getting better. They're savvy and how to do things and how to slow teams down is getting better. And I think that you're going to see a lot more defensive playmakers and household names this season. So all you NFL fans, what do you feel about the defensive playmakers? Do you feel like they're making a surge? Do you feel like they're turning the page, they're becoming better? Or do you feel like the offense is going to overtake them this season? Definitely check out Sports Choice Plus. I'll see you on the very next episode.